next big thing we're going to jump into, kind of some of our sales training that we wanted to hit on today, is based around the in-home. I've had some people with questions, and the questions have been around, hey, Mike, how do I make the transition from my bond and rapport to talking about why I'm there? Okay. And so I'm probably going to engage some people that I think are doing a good job of this, but I'm also going, if you feel like you've struggled with that or you're trying to get better at that, here's your chance to speak up and maybe ask. But if I can lay out the scenario where, okay, so you're there, you've got the lead, whether it's an older or fresh lead, doesn't matter, but you're there, you walk up, you're in the home. Sometimes people might have trouble actually getting in, or maybe they're in and now you're there and you're talking, and maybe you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not getting to a kitchen table, or you're kind of feeling like you're totally on the defense as you're getting to know them. And then it's like, okay, do I take out the green sheet and start filling it out right away? So I've had some people say, Mike, I just feel stuck in this part of the appointment. So I'm going to probably engage with some people that I think are pretty smooth and good on their NO. I haven't told these people I'm going to engage with them, but I'm going to grab a few folks that I see here that I think are doing a good job. So Andrew Beato, I think you've kind of gotten a handle on things pretty well from what I've seen with your closing ratios in the home. Share with us some of the things that either where maybe you've been stuck, or maybe you got stuck early on your first few appointments, and what you've done to kind of bridge that gap from the actual beginning of the appointment into getting in the pain and their need and their situation and filling out the green sheet. What's some of the things that you've done there?
Definitely, I make sure that I am spending enough time getting to know them. I mean, that was a really big thing for me in the beginning because I wanted to rush into why I was there. And I found that if I spend more time really getting to know them and understanding, what their family dynamic is, who who's in the family, who do they care about, who do they know, what is it they did for a living, or what is it they're doing for a living, like it it just really, if I could get them to open up and really just finding that one thing that we have in common, it's like they light up. They have a totally different attitude. Sometimes it's dogs, sometimes it's cats, sometimes it's their children, sometimes it's their spouse, So that was a big thing for me, was realizing I need to slow down and I need to get to know them. Because once we had that connection, and we're talking about adopting puppies and stuff. Like, it's now I have a friend. Now I have somebody that we share common ground. And there was a lot of calling from the home. Definitely learning that. So I just want to say that as a blanket statement, especially in the beginning, calling from the home is huge, figuring that stuff out. But as I spent more time with bonding and rapport and developing that, it got easier to kind of slide into what is the pulling out that lead, tapping on that lead, and just asking. For me, the question is, I literally say it like this. So what the heck got you thinking about this? And I'm tapping on the lead, getting their attention to that. And that's when I start to open up. So that really is kind of my transition. After I've made a friend, then I want to talk to my friend about what it is that got them thinking about this. And I do spend a lot of time with that.
Okay. And I think for clarity, in some cases, you're working primarily with the legacy leads from integrity, correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's your primary source. And so sometimes the lead itself, but now the integrity lead, it doesn't say anything about what the program is. It just says legacy lead, and then it's just got, name, address, city, state, phone number, email, height, weight, whatever. It doesn't say anything. So, because somebody would say, well, but what do they see? Well, you're not making a big deal, it sounds like, of what's on the form as much as you're getting them to think about the concept of what they were thinking about, correct?
Yes. And I think that with a lot of the folks, like, and maybe this is just my thought process, but I feel like a lot of them, they know they know what they filled out. I mean, we're talking to people that maybe they filled it out a month ago or 2 months ago. They know what was going on. So when I'm saying that, when I ask the question the way I ask it, it's almost like they take ownership of it, and they will say that I always get these responses about just like, well, to be honest with you, something happened to my sister. Or if I'm being real with you, I just got a diagnosis that I didn't like and it's a little scary. And then I'll ask them to just really open up about that. Give me more detail on that. What does that look like? Or what did you hear? How did that situation go when your sister did pass away? And I'll ask 7, 8 questions until I get to a really uncomfortable place. Like it's like I can feel the tension in the room. Like it's awkward for them, it's awkward for me. I'm feeling what they're feeling. And I sit in that for a minute until we're at that it's really thick. And then I can say, well, I think that's exactly why I'm here, to make sure like that doesn't happen to you.
There you go. All right. I hope people heard that. Like, get asking enough times to get to that point where it's thick, where you feel it and you can almost feel their emotion. Did anybody ever start crying?
Absolutely.
Quentin, I know you were asking me about this. I don't know if you can speak up, but are you seeing or can you picture what he's doing and saying, Quentin?
I can.
Okay. So I'm thinking like that, that right there will help a lot. And it's something where if you're like, well, I haven't done it like that. Okay, we'll practice.
Right.
You know, it's not that complicated, but then being able to sit in the discomfort. And while it's uncomfortable for you, it's uncomfortable for them. And that's where you're trying to get them to feel and see the pain. Because if they see the pain, then they're going to want to look at a solution.
Right.
If you're glossing over that, you being anybody, Quentin or anybody else, if you're just like, okay, and you jump in real quick, well, we got a problem here. Okay, let's go. Here's a policy. I mean, if you're jumping that too far, you're not letting the pain marinate or letting them marinate in their own juices of that pain, then you may be having a trouble moving forward.
Right. Instead of just finding the pain, actually acknowledge the pain and keep it there and center it around that.
Yeah. Like that phrase, oh, that must be why I'm here. Oh, I can see why you need to get that fixed. I can appreciate what you're telling me.
And to be clear, when I had first started, I glossed over it. As soon as they told me, well, I just want to protect my family, in my mind, that was enough. Okay. And then I realized through, talking with you guys and really just developing my craft that going deeper and finding out what that actually means to them is what was opening up those doors and getting them to want to make a move because for a lot of them, I think it's the first time they've ever said this stuff out loud. I think they've never said like, if I die tomorrow, this is what it's going to actually look like for my family. This is what my 3 kids are going to have to try and come up with. And they realize this is a big problem.
Right.
Yeah. All right. All right. And Andrew's got credibility. Why? Because he issued 30,000 in the month of December, on multiple policies. So I think just understand that. And some people, it might be more clear and emotional early on. Sometimes it may take some more levels of questions. Ben Hogan, are you able to speak up? I saw Ben on there. I saw your paycheck last week. I know you're working your butt off. You've been cranking out 20,000 a month almost every month since you went full time. Are you able to say hi, Ben?
Hey guys, how's it going?
I am good. Do we get your video too?
Yeah, give me a second.
Awesome. I know I put you on the spot. I did not prepare anybody. I said, I'm just going to pick out some of the winners that I know are working their way through this.
Oh,
There we go. All right, dude. How's your appointment setting day going?
so I actually have an assistant now who helps us out with all of that. So we're good to go for the week. Well, for the next
There
few
you go.
days.
Awesome. Okay, good to hear. Way to use your resources. Talk to me a little bit. Let's see. What's your main device or tool, or talk to me, how are you performing at a high level in the home to get to that pain step?
So I'll agree with that, with the other statements. Really building in that connection is what really starts everything, not just jumping into the house. Of course, we get a lot of people that want to jump straight to it, but I have my license set up on my pictures and about me area. So as soon as they kind of want to jump straight to business, I took this away from the last not hotspot, but the last event, and I kind
NatCon.
of turned to that. Yep. I turn to that and I go, hey, I'll go ahead and start off with my license. I want everyone to be comfortable here. There's a copy here. I keep one around my neck, and then I have a larger copy, and I let them know, hey, if you want to take pictures, I've got a larger copy. So you have photo ID that you can, use to take the picture with just in case. And then I kind of turn it back to, hey, this is my family also. And I'll talk a little bit about us and kind of what we've been through, just so I can get them back into the conversation of talking about their family and what matters to them. From there, we can kind of figure out, okay, so is this why you have me here today? Is this what's important? You're trying to protect your kids or your grandkids, or what exactly am I here for today? And at that point, it'll go one of two ways. Either I don't remember this or anything like that. Well, hey, is this something important to you? I'd love to help you out with this. Or it's, yeah, this is exactly why I filled out that form. And then from there, we'll start to dig in a little bit more about why it's important to protect the family, who have they lost, being that our family has such a wide array of things that have happened so recently, between the loss of one of our children and then my wife losing her father and her mother so quickly. We just have a lot that we can kind of connect with as far as for all these families we sit with. Everyone's lost a sibling, a parent, a child, or they know someone that has. So it just gives us a little bit more space to try to connect with them.
Okay. All right. I'm hoping I'm helping. And if you or an agent on your team has been struggling with this, and you've got a question you want to post, feel free to ask. I see Angela, you got your hand up. You got a quick question, Angela?
I do. Thanks, Mike. This goes out to Ben and Andrew. Hey, guys. So, for sure, I'm glad we're going over this topic today, because when I'm in the home, if there's a lay down appointment, that's amazing. But sometimes I really do, and I'll ask flat out, do you want to tell me why you want to know more about final expense, or if you're looking for insurance? And sometimes it doesn't matter if I'm straight to the point. I get a lot of pushback, and I built rapport for 20 minutes. I built rapport for 5 minutes, right? So, my question would be, I like what you said, Ben, when you said, is this something important to you? It lets you know, are they going to be a good client? What really helps you when you get that pushback, and let's say it's strong? What helps you to calm the situation down? Or does that kind of tell you if, in the discovery, if they're even a good client? I know that was kind of a double part question there, but, I really, sometimes I could be.
Ben, did you get the question? Let's give him a chance to answer. Did you clear up the question, Ben?
From what I gathered, yeah, that's exactly kind of how I use that moment. I'm hunting low hanging fruit more than anything else. I'll try and spin it back to, okay, so it looks like you did fill out a request for some information, and my job is ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm not here to sell you anything. And I tap my backpack in my pockets. I don't have anything to sell you. My main goal here today is to help you kind of understand, what programs you're eligible for and which ones are going to help you and your family best, what you can get qualified up to, so we can show you what that's going to look like. And then ultimately, if anything makes sense to you today, I can show you how to apply to see if you can be approved, because of course, you can't purchase anything here, but we can try to get you qualified so we can work on getting you approved. And that kind of de-escalates the situation a little bit there, because of course they're assuming we're trying to sell. Like, hey, I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm just here to try and help, get you some information and show you what I can do.
Another phrase. So, another phrase that a person can use, I've seen used before, is I'm like in the vein that Ben has. I said, well, I'm kind of like the benefits review guy, but if you'd rather have a salesperson, I guess we could find one and send them out. And, that can disarm them a little bit. So just heads up, I kind of have fun with them. I said, ooh, yeah, if you want one of those people, I can get them out here. I want to get another, kind of another voice here. Sarah Seifert, are you able to say hi or chime in? I know your efficiency in the home is very high, and I know you have a good level of, emotional intelligence that you apply. Are you able to speak up, Sarah? No, I put her on the spot. I didn't ask if she'd be available. And if not, I'm going to go to Patty Martin, who's new, but I think he's got stuff figured out.
Yeah.
Oh, we got feedback?
How's it going over there, Mike?
Hey, we're good. Are you over at the office with the gang and everybody else has got their Zooms on?
Yeah, we're just out. We're just back here. Loving this training. It's awesome.
Okay, good. So kind of share with us, either how do you avoid that difficult moment, or when it happens, what are you doing to kind of cross that bridge from your bond or rapport and into discussing really why we're there?
Right. So I think, the main thing, I think the control, it starts, whether we want to believe it or not, the control starts when you're dialing. So it starts there. It trickles into your in-home. So for me personally, I keep bond and rapport really just about a minute, no more than that. And when I go into the home, I'm not complimenting them. That's not going to get me anywhere. So I'm not complimenting them on their flowers or their dress or the decor in their home or anything like that. That's not purpose driven for me personally. So I've been taught just to talk about how long have you lived here? You got family, and that leads into what we're trying to protect. So I don't really, and I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but I don't really bond and rapport because it's going to happen throughout the hour and a half naturally, right? So that's kind of my entrance, just how long have you lived here for? Awesome. You married, you got kiddos, grandchildren. And then the transition from that, it's, I have my little ATM in my hand. I'm wearing my license around my neck, and it's just, all right, hey, listen, Miss Sherry. So like I said over the phone, I'm a benefits coordinator. So we're going to get you approved for benefits before I leave today. Okay. So my job is very simple. It's to get you approved for some sort of benefit plan. Okay. And then I just slap my ATM and I put it right on the table and I say, awesome. And my state license is right on the front. So they're kind of eyeing it. I'm like, this little thing just kind of keeps me on track for not talking too much because I got a lot of families out here to serve today. That's my transition.
Okay. So I think that's big. And what you can see here is there's some different styles. Okay. But she's pretty bold about it. So people aren't wondering too much either. And so, but the key is you may have to start with a style and apply it and adjust. And again, but if you notice, everybody's still pretty bold here. Everybody seems to have a level of boldness in how they're doing things. Carrick, I see you've got a question. You want to go ahead and ask, Carrick? Go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, guys? So my question was, this is in reference to an appointment that I had with a woman. And it's basically when you get into the home and they are kind of apprehensive because they already have coverage. I do understand that, it's kind of most beneficial, or we can still get clients who already have coverage. I know Sarah says those are the best type of clients, etc. But how do you transition from them already kind of wanting to push you out and them fighting your ask with, no, I already have coverage, you're wasting your time?
So like I said, Carrick, most people your age, they already have programs like this in place. So what we're going to do, Carrick, if you don't know where that, hold on, let me back up for a second. So most people your age, they fill out this intake form. Okay. So most people your age, they already have benefits in place. So if you don't know where those benefits are, not a big deal. Carrick will help you figure out where they are so your family's not struggling.
Okay. So taking that, you remember I had that client and she really didn't know where well, she didn't have access to her benefit information. And we couldn't get that access by calling them either. So what would have been a better route to take than what happened that day?
Good question. I'm going to jump in a little bit. So if you said you couldn't get access when you said you couldn't call, meaning were you meeting them during business hours?
Yes. It was
Okay.
like a Friday.
All right. Did you find out the name of the carrier that she was making premium payments to?
I did, yes, sir.
Okay. And then did y'all call the carrier?
Yes, sir.
Did the carrier answer the phone?
They did. I did make I guess, rookie mistake in saying that, I'm a broker.
Oh,
and,
shit. Oh, dear God. Okay. Here's the tip. Yep. Technical foul. Double technical.
Mhm.
We're throwing your ass out. We got to put in a replacement. Okay. So here's what happened. Okay, now that's what the issue was. It's always funny. I love it. Thank you for being transparent, Karen.
Of
Here's
course.
what the breakdown was. If you're calling to help a client review their coverage, and I'm sitting down with you and I'm calling, let's pick someone, New York Life. And I say, hey, Mr. New York Life, blah, blah, blah. Hey, I'm sitting here with my friend Carrot. He's got a policy with you. We hear it's pretty awesome. We're just trying to verify his benefits because he couldn't find his policy. Can you help us out?
Mhm.
I uplift the coverage that's there, even though it might be trash. I'm going to speak positively about it, and I'm going to let New York Life tell how bad it is, especially if it's one of the ARP New York Life policies where the premium doubles every 5 years and ends at 80 or 85. I'm going to give New York Life enough rope to hang themselves in front of my client.
Hello.
Okay?
Hey, Chris, this is Catherine Greenberg.
Oh, Chris, can we get you to mute, buddy? There we go. Thank you. All right. All right. So, yeah. So, Carrick, I love that you had the experience. So, you did a lot of the right things. You just made one technical error, which they thought she was Satan incarnate at New York Life and whoever the carrier you called, and they was going to shut you down and not help.
Yeah, that's what they did.
Yeah. There's like, intruder alert. Don't tell them nothing. Are you safe, ma'am? Do we need to call the SWAT team and get this guy out of your house? Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
So next time, you're a friend.
Yeah, got you. So I made the mistake just that in general. Do you think me mentioning that in front of the client could have been what turned them completely like, oh, he's trying to sell me something, and that's
Yeah.
what.
Yeah. It's like, I think, yeah, you just got to be like, yeah, absolutely. I don't know if that was the only thing, but I mean, that certainly could have been it could have turned off New York Life, and they could have made statements over the phone knowing that to poison you in front of your client.
Mm.
Okay. So instead of you being the friend and uplifting and saying positive things about New York Life, when you say I'm a broker, blah, 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 oh, their guard is up. We ain't got to tell you crap, jerky.
Got you.
I mean, yeah, it's like, yeah. I would have been like, if I was a New York Life person, I said, man, are you okay? Is this person coercing you? Do you want him to leave right now? That's what I would have said.
Mm-hmm. Noted.
Okay. I love that you had that experience. It won't happen again, will it?
No, definitely not.
Okay. All right. That's good stuff. Okay. All right.
I know this is kind of obvious, but go ahead and role play with Carrick how if he was your client and you were calling Mike.
Right, so if I'm with you, Carrick, I say, hey, Carrick, man, this looks like okay, we don't have the policy, so we're calling and say, oh, New York Life, they're a fantastic company. They got a great rating. Yeah, let's call and check on some things with your policy. We want to verify the expiration date and everything. But hey, I've heard good things about that company. Let's give them a call real quick. And then I go to the Google and I look up the phone number. And so I said, when we call, they're going to ask you to verify who you are. And then, if you give me permission, I'll kind of give you the questions that we need to ask them so we can clarify. And we'll make sure they get you a new copy. My gosh, the fact that you can't find your policy, I know you said it's for your daughter and son. We want to make sure they can find that paperwork. So we're going to make sure they get that copy of your coverage out to you, okay? Keep your mic open, Carol, because I'm going to keep role playing with you, okay? So I'm going to get you to say yes. And so I'm dialing.
Mm-hmm.
and I don't ask the client permission. I don't say, "Oh, would it be okay if we call New York Life?" No, I don't need their permission to do my job. I just start dialing. Beep, boop, 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 beep, boop, beep. Hello, this is New York Life. Oh, hi. Hey, my name's Mike, and I'm sitting here with my friend Carrick, and he says he's got a really good policy with you guys, but he can't find it. And so we wanted to make sure that we get him up to speed on the details, and maybe y'all can get him a new copy. Can you help us out with that? Why, certainly. Okay. Well, then they're going to say, we just need to verify that Carrick is on the phone and pull his coverage up. I said, okay, great. And then they'll see, is he there? Yep, I got him right here on speaker. Well, Carrick, say hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I say, oh, Carrick, hey, can you verify your date of birth?
Yeah, it's January 1st, 1990.
Blah, blah, blah. And your address? And can you tell us the last four of your social?
Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, perfect. Oh, I see you right here. Da, da, da. Okay, yes, I see you've got a policy that's issued in June of 2022. Blah, blah. And do we have permission to speak with Mike and answer these questions while he's on the phone with you?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, good. All right. So then I take over. I say, oh, man, it sounds like a good policy. I'm so glad you guys are able to find this coverage. So tell me, is this a permanent policy or is it a term? Oh, it's our term program with the ARP. Oh, awesome. And how much coverage does he have? Oh, he has 50,000. Okay. I said, and Carrick, how old are you again right now?
31.
And if you're a senior, let's say you're 57. I said, oh, okay. And how much is the premium that he's paying right now? Oh, it's $38. I said, well, that sounds like a really good deal. I said, now, does anything change like at age 60? Oh, yeah, the premium goes up. I said, oh, okay. Well, how much does it go up to? Well, it goes from $37 to $62. I said, okay, and is that the last time it goes up or does it go up again? Oh, no, it goes up again at 65. Oh, well, how much does it go up there? Well, it goes up to $15. I said, ooh, okay, wow. Carrick, did you remember that or did you know that from when you had your policy?
Nah, I didn't remember that.
Okay, well, let's keep writing this down. At age 70, Miss Sarah at New York Life, what happens then? Well, it goes up to $187. Okay, and at 75, well, it goes up to $232. And at age 80, oh, it ends at age 80. What do you mean ends? Well, do y'all send them a check? Like, is that what you mean? Y'all send them a check for 50,000? No, we just don't take any more premium, and his coverage is gone. Well, what if he went to Walmart and got a shotgun and blew his brains out right before it ended? Would you pay then? Well, how does that sound, Carrick? Do you like to get a shotgun at Walmart? Okay, I'm exaggerating on this bit, just so anybody's clear. Okay. So about that last part when I bring up the shotgun match. But y'all see how I'm walking them through? And if it's a permanent policy, I can ask more questions. But so do you see how I've got to make them talk and make the carrier and lead the questions, but I'm sounding positive? I'm not saying anything judgmental. I'm being a pleasant and positive voice so I can get the carrier talking. Because if I start to accuse the carrier of having a crappy policy, they're going to shut down. They've been trained, if they smell or think, to shut up and not tell anymore. So I'm going to be pleasant and accommodating and complimentary. Now, with a client, I might be making faces like, but on the phone, it's smiley Mike. Making sure the person on the phone is being my friend, telling me everything I want to know.
One more note on this.
Okay.
One more note on this is you don't want to call the agent. You want to call the company directly.
Oh, that's right. Somebody says, oh, I know, I'll call my State Farm agent. I said, oh, dear God, you think he's on hey, he's probably at the golf course, and do you think he carries a copy of your policy with him? Right there with his golf balls in his golf bag? You and everybody else's policy? He ain't got it. I said, look, he's got staff. That's why they got corporate offices to help you out with policy details. We'll give them a call so we can get a quick answer. Do not call the agent. Dear God.
Okay.
That's as bad as you saying you're the agent. I mean, no offense. Like, I've got clients that'll call me. I said, oh my gosh, I don't have your policy right at my fingertips. I can get my staff or we'll call you back. but I'm not going to have it right there. I said, by the way, why are you asking me? Okay. I find out why they're asking if they call you. Okay. I got one more thing we got to do. I'm hoping this is helpful.
Yeah, so basically with that, like I just kind of shot myself in the foot by
Oh, Bo,
mentioning
you
sulfur and all
stepped on
that.
an IED. You booed both legs off. You're sitting there bleeding out. More than a shot to the foot, Bo.
Gotcha. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, you cut off the femoral artery and there's blood squirting up in the air. Okay. All right. All righty. But I'm glad that you got to share that. So maybe it don't happen to someone else. We might have saved a life here.
I hope so too.